Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday, and today we're looking at part 2 in the series of CaneFlow self-defense applications. Before we do that, as always, a warm welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. Please don't forget, if you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content. And avail yourself of the #1 free, no-cost resource, the Cane Clarity Call, by texting the letters CCC to 305-745-7839 in less than 24 hours. We will be on a call with you, listening to you. What is it that attracted you? How did you get here? And what can we do to really get you cane trained with all the benefits? Because at the end of the day, really, the canes are cool, but training is the real equalizer. Today we're looking at, we saw in the first part, and if you haven't done that, you want to take a look at that. That's where you're doing, we looked at 8s. Today we're going to look at something called a steering wheel. Right? If you think steering wheel, you have both hands on there, hopefully. You have both hands on your steering wheel, and it looks something like this. And that's what we're going to look at today. And this is easy. Right? Anybody can do this. It's good for the wrist. It's good for the forearms. We spoke about how CaneFlow movement helps the body. We got a little bit into that. But then you start tying it in with that footwork. And this is a very simple footwork pattern. Just going back and forth, stepping in and out. And we spoke about that rhythmic motion, right? That it has, kind of like a wave. And so we're looking at something like this so that when you see it, right? So when you see guys out there, you know, and they're doing these kinds of things, right? And of course the footwork pattern is going to shift, but just bite-sized pieces here for you. So this kind of movement, those of you that are familiar with American cane boxing, one of our curriculums, you know that in your 2-3-2 template, you know this as a slip. And it's this component, it has a little bit of that sway pivot to it where I turn. And straight off the bat, you know, the fact that you're taking the cane from here and you have 2 hands on it, you have better control. And now it's for close quarters, you're dealing with it. It's showing you how to get out of the way, how to, that's an actual strike. So you're knocking down the strike, you're close enough that you can do something about it. I always talk about that because if I continue to get offline and he continues to do this and I don't step up, look at the complications now, right, that this causes, right? He can grab onto the cane, it can get stuck in here, but he's not going anywhere. I actually need to do something about it, which is why I'm exchanging that ACB cane for a drone so that we can really play in here. And so the movement, right, just this movement here of striking down to the shin and coming right back. He's padded, by the way. I always recommend, even though you're training with one of our drones, to pad yourself because you'll feel it, it'll leave a mark. So this kind of movement, how to move either way. So it teaches you how to deal with this if he's throwing combinations as well. Look at it here. And you see it, and it has a little bit of that component of what you saw last week, which is that figure 8. They're similar, and that's by design so that the neuromuscular system, it's an easy pattern for it to remember. I can do this stepping forward. I can do it also stepping back. And it does teach, by the way, the empty hand component of how to do that. We don't have any blocking in ACSD with that ulnar bone, so we don't have any of this. We just don't have it. It's done with the forearms, the meaty portion there. We also don't expose much vital areas here because the system was designed to deal against a knife. So if I'm dealing here, he throws a combination from here, right? And I can use either one or I can use them both in here. But how to knock that to get in, right? To get in. So that if I have to deal with something like this, boom, I can bypass that and still get in, or slip, he throws a strike, I'm already in position to go ahead and do that. And that is coming from this movement here, right? So this movement, again, the in and out as a review, I can do it stepping in, go ahead, oh, there's the strike. Oh, it shows me how to do it from here, it shows you how to deal against weapons. So if you're thinking, how does this work empty hand? Well, the empty hand movement, it's a clawing movement composed palm heels as well, hammer fist. And when you see that here, he's pointing that. Now, I'm doing the movement so you see what the drill is and where it comes from, not that you would ever do this. Right? You're here, boy, they got your attention, but you're moving here. And as part of that drilling, where exactly that comes from, the movement of the hands, right? It's showing you and it's positioning you for something like that, right? And it happens at different levels. If you look at what that figure 8 and you extend it, so I have both hands and you see this movement now. You have both. This is a steering wheel. And you just make this slight modification to it, which is 2 hands on that 8. Take a look, right? So he's pointing that gun now, and he can just leave that. This is your movement that you're doing it in the flow, but it's showing you how to move, right? Hey, right, to extract a firearm if you have no other choice but to face that, and that gun is on you. And I'm not getting into the specifics of how we do that or why you would even do something like that. You know, needless to say, we don't attempt to do anything against a firearm if we, you know, can avoid being there, but that firearm, note that it was on us. He owns the room at a distance and all that. I'm not gonna get into those details. The purpose is to show you the movement, right, with the cane off of a steering wheel, using the same footwork pattern that we did in part 1, right? It's got the brain training, it's got the health benefit, and it has the application. That is known as a steering wheel. Does it have the locking component? It sure does. If I come in here and do anything and he happens to hold on to the cane, well, what does the principle teach? What is the natural reaction here? He pulls, I pull here as well. We get into this situation. Guess who wins this? Whoever is stronger. But if you look at the movement as he pulls, as he moves, I know to cut towards his center. And I'm gonna show you the stepping in, and I'm gonna ask you to bring the camera down just a tad. To show you this, I'm gonna step back a little bit. But this is the movement. Kiko's not fighting me now, but the minute he starts, I need you to tilt the camera down a little bit. Yeah, right there. And as we do this, since you would have this movement, you're not doing it against here. He caught you here, he pulls. When you step in, notice that I'm stepping on that foot in, and I'm at an angle. Kiko, try to punch, try to do anything from there. Not good. If you do let him off the hook, there it is, right? So everything is kept tight in that guard zone. So yeah, if I do get caught, but I know how to move, it's teaching you how to move in such a way that you get to retain the tool, and he is incapacitated. His biomechanics are thrown off. So little by little now, you have part 2 thus far. If you start putting that together, it starts looking a little bit like this. Well, not that. That's going to be part of part 3, but you see how it starts. We start getting a little bit, just a taste of the flow and what is contained in there. What you need is an ACSD coach that gives you that big reveal. And typically that happens in our trainings. We don't share that here on this channel. And when you come down to the immersion at the Miami headquarters, there's 2 live hands-on immersions that happen. One happens in the winter, always in February. The next one, the fall, September 20th through the 23rd. And it's 70% to capacity right now. We always limit participation for your best experience. That's something that interests you. Go ahead and text FALL 2022 to 305-745-7839. I'm Joe Robaina with American Cane Self-Defense. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.